Hey everyone, Teresa with Hick-A-Billy LLC. What we're looking at here is all of my wild lamb's quarter, which is similar to a spinach plant. This is what I have been eating this summer until I can get my garden to kick in and have some vegetables to eat. I don't eat this every day, but I have been adding them into my meals. And they're all, not this plant, we're going to ignore this plant. They are all starting to, or not starting to, they are all gone to seed. These are the seed pods, and you can see on this one, let me try and get close here, the little black specks, those are the seeds. And now these seed pods are edible. The older these plants get, the smaller the leaves are, and the more bitter it gets, but you can still, they're still edible, they're tasty, and the seed pods, if they're not too far along like that, because the seeds are edible too, and they're crunchy, so it adds a nice little texture to your meal. But I kind of don't like that texture in there when I cook it. I like the younger seed pods, kind of remind me of broccoli. But I'm going to harvest this. I'm going to cut these down, rinse them off. I don't want really to take these ones that have the seeds already because I want them to repopulate. I believe they need the seeds to regrow again, but each plant, I read somewhere or watched on a video somewhere that they can produce up to 100,000 seeds per plant. That's a lot of seeds, which is probably why in the short time that we have been here, my stand, I mean, we didn't have this here. It was from all of our disturbing the soil. These plants love disturbed soil areas. These here are some younger plants that came up later. Let me come over to the rest of the stand. We had a log deck in here. Actually, some trailers. I take that back. We had some trailers in here, but my husband needed to get to his log deck to cut some firewood. I have already harvested some of my lamb's quarter and dried them, put them in jars for me to use through the winter, but some of these are down. That's okay because these are going to be reseeding into the soil here, and this area here where it's bare will probably be just like this next year. This is a very huge stand that we have here, but it is actually like, it's the biggest on my property, but I have tons of this elsewhere, so I'm not too concerned. I can always reseed if I need to. I think that I would love to grow this indoors to see how well it does over the winter if I could have some lamb's quarter greens instead of growing spinach or kale or what's the other one, Swiss chard. They're all kind of like in the same family, I believe. The other neat thing about this plant, which I did put in another video, is that the seeds can live in your soil for up to 40 years and still be viable. I think I'm liking the idea of actually gardening with the wild edibles versus the commercial edibles that we're accustomed to, mainly because they're drought resistant. They're very strong. You don't have to coddle them. Self-sufficient, self-sustaining, kind of like my chickens. I did nothing to this stand. I didn't plant them. I didn't water them. I did absolutely nothing to them, and it is thick. I mean, just thick with food. And hey, guess what? My goats can eat this. And I'm sure my chickens can eat these too. So these seed pods give you more of a substance, or what do you call the word? What's the word? Sustenance because they're big, they're bigger clumps, like I say, like little mini broccolis. I don't know if it's enough, but I've collected some for myself, and now I'm going to collect quite a bit more for my goats. But I do want to make sure I leave seeds so that they can reseed themselves. So this is what I've pulled off. So what I've done, I just take one of these like this, and I'm just pulling up on it. I was going to cut them off, the stems and everything, but I decided I'm not going to take everything. I'd rather leave a little bit behind for the animals. Some leaves and some seed pods. They'll release seeds to regrow more plants next year, and food for the critters, whatever is eating them. I'll leave that there for them rather than take everything. I don't need to take everything, but I'm going to be harvesting. I'll be harvesting these here for my goats to have. So if I put them on the milk stand, I will be giving them handfuls of this stuff for them to eat. We'll dry this up and package it for them. So anyway, so here's one. Let me see. Here's one. Here's one that is a bit older, and it's starting to turn brown. You could see. I hope you can see that in the camera if it'll focus there. The little black specks, those are the seeds that are maturing, and those will fall off here shortly. I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to leave that as it is there, and I'm going to go to one that's a bit more green, like this one, a little younger, and the seeds aren't quite matured on there yet. And I'm just going to strip it off the branch and dump it right into my bowl. Just like that. I'll fill this thing up really quick. This is a 5-quart bowl, and I've only stripped a small number of branches. You can see I've only stripped a small amount, and I have a lot more yet to go. So that's good for my animals. That's a good thing that my goats will have highly nutritious greens that they can continue eating through the winter, and zero maintenance. I didn't have to do anything for it. Zero. I will be collecting these seeds also for sale. So when I get a website put up, I will have some seed packets that people can buy of this wild lamb's quarter. It should grow anywhere. It can get out of control, so be careful with it. But yeah, it will be available. People can order that. All right, you guys. Thank you much.